guys? Welcome back to the channel. Here we are with another reaction. In this, we have major nationwide pro-Palestine protests take place across Australia. I am excited to dive into this one because I feel like when there's injustice around the world, for people to stand up to it, I absolutely admire. And I think these Australians have seen injustice in the world and they're going to stand up for it. They're seeing people suffering, they're seeing people killed, they're seeing these families killed, these people destroyed, so many losing loved ones, and they're not just going to sit back. And I think the rest of the world needs to take notes. And I'm not saying you have to agree with them and their march. I'm not saying you, because you're allowed to have your own opinion, your own conclusion, support whichever side that you want to support. You're allowed to do that. But I think when you see injustice in the world, I think it's an admirable thing to stand up when you feel like people are getting done wrong. So let's dive into this video. If you guys happen to enjoy it, don't forget to smash the subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, and let's hear what we got.
Pro-Palestinian demonstrators have marched in huge numbers in cities and towns across the country today. Organisers claiming it's the nation's largest ever mass protest.
Wow.
All sparked by a rally across Sydney's Harbour Bridge earlier this month.
Brisbane organisers didn't get the Story Bridge to frame their protest, but they still got impressive numbers.
The voice of Australians is really clear. We want peace, we want sanctions on the Israeli government, we want the aid to get through.
Police estimated 7,000 marched from the CBD to South Bank. Organisers put the number at 50,000. It was peaceful, apart from a group of men with Australian flags who threw insults at marchers below. Police tolerated it for a while before they moved in and arrested a ringleader. There was a pledge from...
I think that's absolutely right in the sense of you're causing chaos, like, right? Nobody else is causing problems, but you're out here causing problems for no reason. I'm with freedom of expression. You got the right, like I said, to support whatever cause you want. But when you're there, like, you just standing there with your flag, but it looks like he was throwing out insults, like he looked like he reached for somebody else's flag. I'm not exactly sure of all his actions. But if you were just there holding an Australian flag, yes, you're being disruptive. But you got the right to express yourself, such as all these people marching in their protests. But if you're throwing out insults and you're doing all this, like, you're causing chaos, you're causing the disruption, not only for the safety of others, but for your safety. Like, we need to remove you from the situation.
Protesters to march across the Story Bridge by the end of the year.
We'll do it again and try to stop us. We'll fire you and see you in court once again and again and again.
In Melbourne, huge numbers swarming up Swanston Street. Organisers claiming up to 100,000. Whatever the figure, the city's biggest pro-Palestinian protest so far.
Enough is enough. There is no ifs, buts or maybe. The sanctioning of Israel is crucial.
The declaration of a famine in Gaza prompting many to turn out.
Obviously there's a shift. You know, we had the famine declared.
And in Sydney, thousands were out for the Sunday ritual that's attracting new recruits by the week. The Teachers Federation, the latest group to sign up to the cause.
The starvation and now famine inflicted on the people of Gaza. Our members educate for peace, not war.
A few weeks ago...
Yeah, bro, if it's this is my fault. I need to be more up to date with situations going on around the world. I knew of the war between Israel and Palestine. I knew that both sides were trying to blame it on the other side. I knew that there were supporters of both sides, and I knew that Palestine, they say Israel's been holding us down, doing us dirty for so long, and they're just like fighting back, and Israel is claiming it otherwise. And so you had that, but I didn't know that there was a famine going on in Gaza. I didn't know that there were men, women, and children being starved. I think that's disgusting, and I just think that's not right. Like, starving people, innocent people, that's not right.
march on the Harbour Bridge that sparked the impetus, the momentum for a nationwide movement. And today, weeks later, Sydney is showing no sign that it's losing any of its passion for what's going on in Gaza.
There is a groundswell amongst the people now that is really sort of taking us on.
They marched in Canberra, took over the centre of Hobart, also huge numbers in
the government gonna have to do something.
From cities to smaller towns, rivers of people marching in solidarity, doing what they can to support Gaza.
Shout out Australia,
Mark Burrows,
bro.
9 News.
Shout out.
Thousands of protesters have filled city streets for one of the largest pro-Palestine demonstrations since the war in Gaza began. It was one of many rallies held across the country on a nationwide day of action. Isabel Quinlan was there.
They filled city streets to bring central Melbourne to a standstill.
I think it's probably the biggest rally Melbourne's ever had.
Their commitment to their cause expressed louder than ever as they marched to Spring Street. With a clear message.
The forced starvation in Gaza by Israel, the continued bombing and the outward call for an ethnic cleansing of Gaza City must end now. And that is done via the sanctions of Israel, the expelling of the Israeli ambassador and the ending of the two-way trade ties.
Demands now backed by hundreds of community organisations and unions.
My union sent out a message yesterday that they want stevedores to divest from Zim shipping. That's a massive statement. My union's on board. The MUA are on board.
40 demonstrations.
Yeah, I think the government, you have to do something. You have to respond. If there's this many people in this many cities inside of the country, it's nationwide marches happening, this many people, and they're calling for sanctions or the government to take some kind of action against Israel. I don't know how it feels to be in them government seat. That's a hot seat that you put yourself in, and now you're gonna have to make a decision. And so I don't know about ties to Israel or partnerships or any deals going on or the relationship that Australia has with Israel, but I'll tell you right now that these citizens are against the what's happening to Palestine, and so the government. You're gonna have to figure you're a leader of the people, and the people are telling you what they want. You have to figure something out.
Took place around the country. In Brisbane, an estimated 7,000 marched. Like here, it was peaceful, apart from one group of men with Australian flags throwing insults at marchers. Police moving in swiftly and arresting a ringleader. Marches also in Sydney, Canberra, Perth and Adelaide. Cities and smaller towns too.
You cannot see what is happening in Gaza, see that famine, that genocide, that ethnic cleansing, complete murder of innocent children, and not say I need to come out and stand up.
Today marks 95 Sundays of pro-Palestine action here on the streets of Melbourne, and with thousands of additional supporters joining the crowd, organisers say they'll keep showing up to ensure their message is heard.
Enough is enough. There is no ifs, buts or maybe.
Isabel Quinlan, 9 News.
Good evening.
Tens of thousands. This is literally like insane. Like I'm genuinely being blown away. Like, wow. Like I'm genuinely in awe of literally Australia and the citizens all coming together and doing this nationwide. Like, man, this is something special, and this is something just as in my years of living have I've seen in America. We seen the Black Lives Matter protests. We know that was huge in that margin, but there were also a lot of issues, and this is nationwide, and it just seems like that one city where there were people that were issue, and that's it. Everything else, it doesn't seem like there's been any problems with the police, nothing. And so that's incredible.
Thousands of pro-Palestinian demonstrators are tonight celebrating what they've labelled a victory over the Queensland Police, banned from crossing the Story Bridge, but still bringing Brisbane City to a standstill. They once again called for an end to the war in Gaza on what was a nationwide day of protest, vowing further action in the months ahead.
They said it was never about a bridge, the Brisbane River merely a backdrop for something much bigger. And as tens of thousands seized control of the streets, piercing Sunday serenity in the CBD with thundering political protest.
We say justice, you say how!
Arguably, the people proved more powerful than the place.
Yeah. Is it disappointing not being able to march across the Story Bridge today?
It is, but it's even more disappointing that we have to march at all for a country that is being affected by a genocide.
I'm marching for the Palestinians, the people of Palestine, the genocide. It makes us angry, very angry.
For the most part, it was peaceful. Crowd crush clearly of concern to the Queensland Police Service. Its presence unsurprisingly heavy, and officers were at pains to keep the parade slow moving. But then came the resistance against the resistance, a small contingent bearing the Australian flag, firing insults from above, and as tensions boiled over, law enforcement intervened. Rally organisers had wanted Brisbane's contribution to today's nationwide demonstrations to occupy one of our city's most recognisable landmarks in an
Just seeing all this, like, this is something special. And I think the world sees this. And I think the world starts to follow in Australia's example, right? And more people start to march as they see injustice. And it turned into a global message. But this right here, like I said, this is just
the war movement, they say, has reached a new breaking point.
There are so many people here calling for peace, calling for sanctions on Israel, just like we have on Russia, and calling for an end to the two-way arms trade.
But after days of negotiations that ultimately ended in the courts, traffic didn't stop on the Story Bridge this afternoon. Authorities fighting back, forcing the masses to instead march from Queen's Gardens across the Victoria Bridge through South Bank to Musgrave Park, a route they said put public safety first, a route protesters have travelled several times before, but never in such strong numbers.
This is Brisbane's 87th pro-Palestinian demonstration since the conflict in Gaza began, and it won't be the last. Organisers say they won't give up on crossing the Story Bridge, indicating they'll make another attempt before the end of this year.
We'll do it again and try to stop us. We'll fire you and see you in court once again and again and again.
Putting police and the public on notice. Abby Guerin, 9 News.
Yeah.
Despite a mostly peaceful protest, police did
have the government they have to do something. If the people are going to continue to march and are going to keep coming, you will have to do something.
Hands full, making multiple arrests as tensions between two groups boiled over.
Protesters against the protest. Waving the Australian flag and singing the national anthem as thousands marched below. One man attempting to run into the crowd, swiftly stopped by police as tensions flared between protest gate crashers and pro-Palestinians.
Get his flag out of my face! And he's waving it, you can wave yours. What happens if I go and wave it in his face? What's going to happen, mate? You're going to arrest me?
Moments later, he had his answer.
Double standards here!
And there was conflict between the protest group and this male who we had to detain and remove, largely for his own safety.
A number of others were taken into
custody. Largely for his own safety. Yeah, bro, you see how many people it is? If some start popping off, we're not going to be able to contain all these people. So for your safety, we need to remove you from the situation, no matter how fair you think it is.
custody for disturbing what should have been a peaceful protest. Police also looking into the use of a Hamas flag during the demonstration.
We are aware of that matter. That's a Commonwealth offence. It is being investigated and we are taking that matter very, very seriously.
Hidayah Grubsky, 9 News.
And protesters have gathered in almost 40 other cities and regional centres across the country. Melbourne's biggest pro-Palestine demonstration so far. Organisers claiming 100,000 people marched across the city this afternoon. Huge crowds also gathering in Sydney, Adelaide and Perth.
Dang, if they're doing that every Sunday, and they're supposed to be the March for Australia on the 31st, which is Sunday, or on the 30th, I think the March for, I don't remember, honestly. Because August only has 30 days, right? Yeah. But y'all talk to me in the comment section. Let me know what you think about the video. If you guys enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, check out the next, and I'll